And I thank everybody for tuning in today and listening. This is part two, very important part of how to grow old and be well. Um, uh, Before we get into part two, let me thank my sponsors. And both sponsors are very important in growing old and being well. So get your pen and paper so you could write things down. Otherwise, you're going to have to back it up and replay it. So first, I thank PromoLife. PromoLife makes home care ozone generators. Ozone generators are little devices that take oxygen and create it into ozone gas, oxygen and ozone gas combination, actually, not pure ozone. And when ozone gets in your body, you're going to find out all the wonderful things it does in promoting growing old in a healthy way and helping with anti-aging, retarding the aging process. That's what this show is going to be dedicated to. So if you want to get set up for home care, what you do is you contact PromoLife at 888-742-3404. 888-742-3404. Tell them you heard about it here on Dr. Robbins' show, and they'll do something special for you. They'll give you % off, or maybe every week they have something new they throw in. They make other ozonated products, and we're going to talk about possibly some of them if we have time, that can also help in the anti-aging process. So get your pen and paper so you could write things down. That's important. 888-742-3404. And you can learn all about their products by going to promolife.com, PROMOLIFE.com. Next is Doctor's Biome. Doctor's Biome, we just did a whole show on probiotics and how that retards anti-aging. That was part one. There's a lot of other supplements and things that may help. And if I'm researching more about them just to make sure there isn't, that it really has some real benefits before you spend your money on those things. And then we'll have a part three to the anti-aging. I'll be lecturing on this at an ozone meeting for doctors and healthcare practitioners called Frontiers in Ozone. That's going to be in Charleston, South Carolina, the weekend of, I think, the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th, or something like that, of November. So healthcare practitioners, if you're listening to the show, come there. I believe the show is supposed to be dedicated to anti-aging. I certainly am going to be talking about that because that's what they had put out a while ago. But a very important part to retard the aging process is your gut. If you listen to the last show, or if you go back and listen to it, and that's where Doctor's Biome comes in. Doctor's Biome is a very, 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 that's 3 veries, very special, that's 4 veries, probiotic beverage. All the bacteria are living. They are not in a capsule, powder, or tablet form, hoping to come back to life. There's no alcohol, there's no dairy, there's virtually no sugar. It's delicious because all the living bacteria are created. They're next generation bacteria. They're created to survive the stomach over 90%, while capsule, powder, and tablet probiotics are destroyed over 90%. If you listen to the shows that we've done on digestive diseases and disorders, you'll know why this is such an important product in terms of helping to relieve and even completely overcome, and in some cases cure, these diseases and digestive diseases and conditions. But in any case, you need to be drinking 1 2-ounce delicious shot, because all the living bacteria are in a 100% organic mint, kale, lettuce, cucumber, celery, apple, lemon juice. So it's delicious. Doctor's Biome Gut Health. And because they're smart probiotics, they're created to stick to the wall of your gut. Most probiotics don't. They're virtually worthless. This product is amazingly wonderful. Okay, amazingly wonderful. Your kids will love it. Babies will drink it, and it's healthy for babies. It's healthy for young children. It's healthy and safe for everybody. Okay, elderly people, it's worth the money. I know many of you may be living on fixed incomes. It's worth every penny, and it's sold all over the world pretty much. You can go to doctorsbiome.com. That's DOCTORSBIOME, doctorsbiome.com. And remember to put the code radio 20 in. And if you put the code radio 20 in, you'll get 20% off your first order. Okay. It's a special deal if you do that. If you're in Europe, you don't have to order it and pay extra shipping here. You can go to Nutrined, Nutrined.com, Nutrined.com, and you can order it from them, and it's sold all over the EU and the UK through Nutrined. Literally everybody else in the world can get it. You may have to pay extra shipping if you don't live in the continental US, but you can have it delivered. And because it's shelf stable, meaning it doesn't require refrigeration, it's good to go wherever you need to get it. So remember to go to doctorsbiome.com. When you go to checkout, put in the code, in the coupon code or the discount code radio 20, and you'll get 20% off your first order. It's not a cheap product. Nothing good is cheap, and nothing cheap is good for a reason. So you won't be, I guarantee you won't be sorry, and they do too. They give you 100% money back guarantee. 100% money back guarantee if for any reason you don't want it or like it. Can't lose. We all want to grow old and be well. You know, growing old and becoming ill or infirmed is something people don't believe will ever happen to them. You ask anybody in a nursing home or an assisted living facility, would I ever expect it to wind up here? And you know what the answer is, not in a million years. Just so you should have an idea of what you're dealing with, in the US alone, because I looked it up and it's probably higher than this, but because they don't update things to this moment in time. But there's 1.2 million people living in nursing homes in the United States right now. 1.2 million. Okay. Worldwide, 2.56 million. So half the people in the world, just about a little less than half, that are living in nursing homes are living in here in the US. Now, worldwide, it's an even bigger problem because here in the US, eventually there are nursing homes where you can get in under medical insurance and things like that. Worldwide, that's not necessarily the case. You may have to be, and probably are, only in the wealthiest class of people to be able to afford a nursing home. The rest of the people that are ill and infirmed when they're older have to be taken care of in their home by their family. And how do you go to work when you have to take care of mom or pop? It's not an easy thing to do. Sometimes they need 24/7, 365 attention. And most people around the world have to work, except, of course, for the extremely wealthy. And my estimation and my guesstimate is you probably can quintuple that 2.56 million on people who need nursing homes worldwide. Even here in the US, there's almost 1 million people, over 800,000, which is an old figure, but there's almost 1 million people living in assisted living facilities. Assisted living worldwide is a figure I couldn't even get, but my best guess is zintuple. There's no way to know how many people are being taken care of in the homes of people that are living in third world countries where nursing homes may not even exist, or they're few and far between, and only the wealthy can afford them. Where assisted living is basically given by family if you have family. So the key, is to grow old and be well. Now, interestingly enough, It's estimated that there's worldwide, according to the UN, almost just around 750,000 centenarians. Centenarians are people who are 100 years old or older. Okay. Um, Here in the United States, it's been estimated over 108,000 centenarians. Okay. Um, are living here in the US, a fraction of what's living in the world. Think about what, and that's what we're going to be talking about. Why? Okay. However, um, the US has the second largest population of centenarians in the world, based on estimates. Unfortunately, they can't go into every area or every town, hamlet, village, or in many countries to know how many people are really living there. These census figures and numbers can be, may be drastically changed if they could. There's evidence that indicates that some people who are living healthier lifestyles, and that's what we're going to be talking about, may be well over 100 years of age, and they just don't know who they are. Okay. So let's get into why we're aging once again. Okay. And keep this in mind. When you age, your immune system undergoes many remarkable changes. And they know all these different changes are called immunosenescence. Is a very dynamic and multifactorial phenomena that affects both natural and acquired immunity. It plays a critical role in chronic diseases, and particularly in older people, but now they're seeing it even in younger people. Many people, I don't know where you live, but where I live, I find people who are in their 50s look more like they're in their 70s, and people in their 70s may look like they're in their 90s, and then you have people who are in their 90s that look like they're in their 50s. Now, you can't see me if you're listening to this, but if you're going on YouTube for this show, you see who I am, and I'm 76. I don't dye my hair. I have remarkable energy, because I've done a lot of things to make that happen. And that's what these shows are talking about. Um, so inflammation in the body has been linked through many studies to increase, not just increase risks of poor health and death, but also to promote the aging process. And they came up with it called a term, they called it inflammaging. Okay. So if we can retard this inflammaging process, okay, if we can retard this inflammaging process, we can slow aging down. As I said before, the quote from Maurice Chevalier, the famous French actor and singer, when one considers the alternative to growing old, okay, but growing old is not the issue. It's growing old and being well. If you're not able to get up and take care, dress yourself, wash yourself, when you go to the toilet, wipe yourself, if you're not able to feed yourself, if you can't enjoy life, is it worthwhile growing old? And many people, I remember one patient of mine used to say, "Oh, Dr. Robbins, it's no good to grow old. It's just no good. Oh my, I can barely take care of myself. I need an aid all the time now to help me with everything." And I go, "Well, what if you could grow old and be well?" I remember having this conversation with her back, oh my God, about 1978. And she goes, "Well, yeah, that would be good, but no, you can't do it. Nobody can do that." Well, she was wrong. But she got me concerned back then in the 1970s. What can I do? I don't want to wind up like her. I was working in 2 nursing homes for over 35 years of my 50 years as a doctor. And I don't want to wind up in there. And there isn't one person who was in a nursing home or an assisted living home that will say, I expected to be here one day. Uh, this is, it's just where everybody has to go. Not true. We're going to go to our first commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to tell you what you can do, why you need to do it, and what you can do to help prevent that from happening. So everybody, let's understand a few things. First of all, we live in an oxygenated environment, and evolution has created in our cells strategies to detect and detoxify metabolites of oxygen, molecular oxygen, and these are called reactive oxygen species. We're going to talk about oxidative stress very quickly. Oxidative stress is an imbalance between the intracellular antioxidants, superoxide dismutase, glutathione peroxidase, glutathione reductase, and catalase, and overproduction of these reactive oxygen species, which are supposedly known, you'll hear why I say supposedly in a minute, to promote the aging process. Reactive oxygen species are peroxides, peroxyls, superoanions, alkenes, alkanes. There's a whole bunch of them. Well, there's misunderstandings around that. But let's talk about something that relates to this, and then we're going to talk about why there's misunderstandings about those things. First of all, our body is filthy, both inside and out. We're loaded. We are absolutely loaded with bacteria, virus, fungus, yeast, mold, parasites, toxins, as well as harmful free radicals that are created by oxidation processes, which is what creates our energy molecules in our cells. We're loaded with all these harmful organisms. There's supposed to be 3 trillion healthy cells in your body. We know that there's over 90 trillion unhealthy bacteria in the average person's body. It's claimed that if you take a person of about 150 pounds and you collect all these harmful organisms that are in that person's body, it would weigh out at about 5 pounds. 5 pounds. And I know a virus weighs, you can't even measure it, next to nothing. But imagine 5 pounds of unhealthy organisms exist in you. And this is why if you don't get refrigerated when you pass on, if you don't get thrown into some sort of refrigerator or embalmed rapidly, you will start deteriorating. The smell is horrendous. Your body almost starts liquefying because these organisms don't die. They're feeding on us. I know this sounds gross, but it is what it is. They're feeding on us, whether we're living or dead. And it's our amazing immune system that keeps us looking the way we look. Okay, because they're fighting these harmful organisms and keeping them in balance and in check. We have to assist this. And if we don't, we age faster than we would like to. And that's why you see people who look older than they should, feel older than they should, and they're acting older than they should. Now, there are psychological, social, and emotional things that will stress your body as well. Stress is the killer. Stress is the killer in the end. But when we're dealing with these organisms, we can deal with those in one amazing way, and that's with ozone therapy. Ozone is a gas, it's not a liquid. And when we inject the gas directly into your veins, called direct IV ozone, or when we take out blood, ozonate it, and put it back in any of the major intravenous methods, whether it be the better ones, the more powerful and effective ones, such as hyperbaric high dose ozone therapy, also nicknamed 10-pass, which we do and we train doctors in. I'll be helping my Dr. Rowan in Santa Rosa with a group training that he does in it. Whether or not you're using EBU, extracorporeal blood ozonation and oxygenation, also called recirculatory hemoperfusion, which Dr. Rowan also teaches, and I'll be helping him, with his trainings. Those are the more powerful blood methods. Yeah, you can do the, and of course we add hemolumin, which is ultraviolet blood irradiation, in with the 10-pass, making it even more powerful. The less powerful methods, kind of wussy, girly boy methods versus the Arnold Schwarzenegger methods I just mentioned, the major autohemotherapy, where you take out blood, you ozonate it, put it in, or ultraviolet blood irradiation all by itself, or even if you combine the two, ozone and saline, where you shoot the gas into a IV bag of saline, let it drip slowly back in. They have benefit. There is no doubt. Absolutely, they have benefit. They can't compare to the methods that I just said before. Not even close. Okay. Well, the whole point is when the ozone goes in your body, it's going to destroy every bacteria, virus, fungus, yeast, mold, parasite, toxin. And while it meets glutathione, a protein that your body makes, did a whole show on glutathione. Listen to it. Great show. When it meets natural glutathione in your body, there is a chemical reaction that negates each other equally. 1 mole, 1 mole. And in that negation, you get a release of reactive oxygen species. Well, wait a minute. I just said a minute ago, ROSs, reactive oxygen species, can age you. Well, that's different because now the ozone modulates them and they only last for a couple of hours. So it's a reactive oxygen species modulator. And thus, if your body is overwhelmed by it, it'll help get rid of it. In essence, you have heard of what they call free radical scavengers, antioxidants, like vitamin C. We've done shows on vitamin C. You should listen to them. Okay. Well, antioxidants are designed to float around our body and grab onto these reactive oxygen species, so to speak, these harmful free radicals, as we call it, and help eliminate them. Well, guess what? Ozone acts as not only an immune system modulator, but an antioxidant. It's a free radical scavenger. For example, when you get carbon monoxide in your body, you can die of carbon monoxide poisoning. We're all inhaling that all the time when we're outside by automobiles or by factories. Well, ozone combines with carbon monoxide to form carbon dioxide. So it takes all these harmful free radical gases that we might have inhaled that you can't get rid of, that are causing damage and stress to your body, and it's turning them into oxides that you can exhale and or urinate even away, sweat away. By doing that, by exhaling all these gases, they're no longer causing damage to our cells. So ozone is an oxymoron. Not to be punny, and I purposely am. While it's an oxidative process that's going on, it acts as a free radical scavenger. So it's doing a healthy thing. Also, when you inject the gas in directly, it stimulates healthy cells to manufacture larger amounts of those antioxidant enzymes, the superoxide dismutase, SOD, glutathione peroxidase, glutathione reductase, and catalase. Please don't go and buy any of those things if you can. I know SOD you can find in the stores. All the experts say they're completely, or destroyed in the stomach, complete waste of money. But ozone stimulates healthy cells to make more of it. So it's doing what? Retarding the aging process. Now, cells need energy to do three things. Okay. Stay alive, technically live longer, do their job, whatever that job is, a brain cell, a liver cell, a skin cell, and last but not least, make another one. Okay, make another one. The way cells do this is they have little organelles, they're called mitochondria in your cell. So blood brings in nutrients that you've eaten. If you've absorbed them, if you eat well and you absorb them, eat in a healthy way, and you absorb them through your gut, that's where Doctor's Biome becomes so important. And then it brings oxygen. Okay, blood brings oxygen and then these nutrients into the cell. The mitochondria, when you do ozone therapy, particularly the DIV method, have an increased ability to uptake more of the oxygen. Now, if you have an adequate amount of nutrients coming in the cell, and now you have a more powerfully working mitochondria in your cell, you can make more adenosine triphosphates, ATPs, the energy molecules. Of course, you need vitamin C for this, and this is why we've done shows on these things. All right. But by making more ATPs, more energy molecules, the cells now can do their job. They can live longer. And in essence, you're retarding the aging process. That's why I don't have to dye my hair at my age, or at least yet. It's some white in there, but still more dark than silver. Number two, they do their job. A liver cell does its liver detoxification function, etc. A brain cell works more effectively in memory and recall and having the body do what it has to do. And then last but not least, while it's lived longer, when it's its time to pass, it creates a new cell, a daughter cell, and now it replaces itself. This is why it is so important to get intravenous ozone therapy if you want to grow old and be well. Doing even a dozen direct IV therapies each year, using at least my method, which is proven more effective and the safest and most effective way of doing direct IV, where we push the oxygen and ozone gas directly in your veins. And if you want to learn more about these different methods, go to my show called Intravenous Ozone Therapy, Everything You Need to Know. We repeat these shows periodically. And in fact, next week I'll be traveling to California. And the show that I'm going to put on is that show, Intravenous Ozone Therapy, Everything You Need to Know, because I'll be traveling that Thursday. So we repeat these key shows so you don't have to go back forever trying to locate them. Well, in any case, now you're making more energy. The cell lives longer. It does its job. It creates a new cell. And what you have just done is effectively retarded the aging process. But more, you've killed you've destroyed bacteria, virus, fungus, yeast, mold, parasites, and toxins in your body. This is what causes stress in your body. Okay. And promotes the aging process. By having a healthy gut, if you listen to the show that I did on skin that we just did recently, there's a gut-skin axis, and this gut-skin axis has your bacteria in your gut reacting with the bacteria that are in your skin. But to have healthy bacteria in your skin, need a healthy gut, and ozone can kill the unhappy boys, the bad boys that are in your skin, on your skin. At the same time, increase the ability of your skin cells to make energy. So what are you doing? You're retarding the aging process. You look younger. Okay, you're going to look younger. And that's the bottom of it all. I've been doing intravenous ozone therapy. This is my 34th year out of my last 34 years. That's when I've been doing it out of my 50. We've done over 415,000 intravenous ozone therapies now. That's more than any one clinic in the world and more than all the doctors in North and Central America put together. I won't say South America included yet, but and I won't be able to say this in a few years. We're training so many more doctors in how to do intravenous ozone therapy. Whether I'm doing the training and Dr. Rowan in the better ways, or these other doctors that are training people in the less beneficial ways, all the methods are beneficial. When we come back from our commercial break, I'm going to talk about some of the other methods that you can do at home, because you may not be near a doctor that does the more powerful ways of doing it, or whatever. Now, for the direct IV, if you don't have a medical problem and you just want to grow old and be well, I usually recommend a dozen treatments done at 3 or 4 treatments a week or even a minimum of 2 a week for once a year. And this can cleanse, detoxify, boost your immune system, and help in all these things that we're talking about up to this moment on the show. You will look younger. Your skin, hair, and nails will grow healthier and faster. Skin will take on a healthier look. Along with all the other beneficial effects, falling asleep easier, sleeping better, needing less sleep, more energy, more stamina and endurance for a workout in a gym. Why? You're making more energy. That's what I'm explaining to you. Your muscles will work more effectively. At the same time, it acts as a painkiller and an anti-inflammatory. It stimulates natural stem cell activity. Listen to the shows that I've done on that. I'll be lecturing to the American Academy of Stem Cell Physicians in October in Miami at their big meeting. Stem cells repair the unrepairable and fix the unfixable. They float around your body, fixing things that you don't even know are broken. Very important, very powerful things are going on when you do direct IV ozone therapy. And 10 pass as well. Let's talk about, obviously, getting to a doctor, you have to have some money for this. Our fees are probably the lowest. I don't discuss fees over the internet, but they're probably the lowest in all of North America. I try to price myself for people, not just the wealthy. Apparently, a lot of the doctors, as we find out, that do any of the IV methods of ozone have priced themselves so that you got to be a wealthy person to be able to afford them, which is unfortunate. We tried to make it so that just about anybody can afford us. But having said that, there is stuff you can do and you might be able to afford or save up and get, and that's ozone home care. And that's why you go to promolife.com and call them at 888-742-3404 and tell them you heard about it here on the show and you want to get set up for home care. What are you going to do? Well, there's two things that will be very valuable. One is rectal insufflation. You can listen to it on my shows called Ozone Therapy Home Care. I don't repeat that one too often. You may have to go back a ways to get it, but it's worth it. In any case, rectal insufflation is an ozone enema. It's very simple, easy, comfortable to do. You clean yourself out with a little, with a bulb syringe a little bit. You want a little bit cleaner colon. And then you fill up a bag. Never go directly from a machine with the oxygen and ozone gas. You insert a little thin plastic tube with little holes in the end called a catheter. Put a little vegetable oil on the end so it inserts comfortably and easily. It's very easy to do. I mean, you can do it to babies if necessary. And then you squeeze the gas out of the bag. You use a low concentration, generally a 40 concentration of ozone, 40 micrograms per cc. Please don't use the term gamma. It's a microgram per cc concentration. And that's usually very comfortable. If you feel you want to be gentle with this. Start at a couple of hundred cc's, and you can go up to 750, even 1,000 cc's, 500 to 1,000 cc's of the gas. You can do this every day for a while to start off, and then back off and do it just a few times a week, maybe 2 or 3 times a week. And what it's going to do is some of it will get absorbed into your blood and kill virus, fungus, yeast, mold, bacteria, parasites, toxins, and destroy harmful free radicals. So it's going to do all those things. Now, it can't compare to intravenous ozone therapy done professionally by only qualified, trained healthcare professionals. Please don't go on the internet and you go to sites that will show you how to do ozone IV therapy. It may seem simple, but even with the direct IV method, probably the simplest method of all, I do a 3-day training, 21 plus hours, only for licensed trained healthcare professionals. There's a lot of issues. This is very powerful, serious therapy. It is not meant for people to do on their own. Just like you see these disclaimers when you're watching television commercials for automobiles done by professional drivers on closed courses. They're doing stuff you would never do unless you're well trained to do these kinds of maneuvers. The same thing goes for intravenous therapy. Only licensed, trained healthcare professionals should ever do it. Period. That's it. Well, having said that, there are people all over the world who are probably doing intravenous ozone in one manner or another because it looks easy. And if you hurt somebody, you'll find out that while it could be as safe as drinking purified water, when done by licensed, trained healthcare professionals, it can be very, very risky and dangerous if you just do it on your own without that training. It is not meant for just anybody to do. Okay. Having said that, rectal insufflation is meant. Ozone enemas are meant for everyone to do. They're easy, they're simple, and they can be extremely beneficial, and you can do it all year round. Okay. Never 7 days a week all year round. You always want a day off of ozone completely to let your body clean out waste. So for those of you that decide to do everything mega and excessive, back off. Take a day off every week. Okay. No more than 5 or 6 days in a row without a day off. All right. Having said that, ozonated water can be made with these machines. The only problem you may have is getting oxygen. Oxygen is a controlled pharmaceutical medicine, apparently, since it began its use in 1856, at least here in this country. Maybe elsewhere in the world, anyone can get it. But here, if you go in and say, I'm getting it for a water purification system at home or for my fish tank, most places will give it to you because they just want to make the money and they know it's not going to cause any real trouble. It's neither flammable, though it can help promote a fire. It's neither flammable nor explosive. Just don't drop the tank. If the head comes off the tank, you have an unguided missile shooting around the room. Of course, the gas is in there under pressure. Well, in any case, you can make ozonated water to drink as well with these machines. And they sell you the apparatus to do it. It's very simple. You just want to make sure you have it set up correctly so you're not inhaling any gas. The gas goes through that doesn't comes out of the water, goes through a destructor, so that an ozone destructor, turning it back into oxygen, so that you're not going to wind up causing any problems in your body, in your lungs. I'm against the inhalation of ozone gas, though people think it's okay to inhale the gas through olive oil, and you'll read about that on the internet. I am one of those doctors that say, do not do it. I don't believe it's safe or healthy. But it can be It can help with medical problems, but you're risking your lungs. And if you damage your lungs, you'll need a lung transplant. And that's not an easy thing to get, um, uh, let alone survive. So in any case, drinking ozonated water is wonderful. You don't really absorb much, if any, maybe a very small amount into your blood, but can help clean out your stomach. Um, Many people feel benefit of some systemic beneficial effects from drinking the ozonated water. So it's apparent that some does get absorbed into the blood that way. Rectal insufflation is definitely the way to go. Um, You've got to make sure you have a healthy digestive system. So eating in a healthy way becomes important. And that's going to be one of the shows that we're going to do is on the, hopefully on the nutritional aspects of anti-aging. So you can get all that, all the supplements that might be beneficial to take. There's even pharmaceuticals that have been implicated now in helping, like metformin. Not that I'm a fan of pharmaceuticals at all, but they seem to be slowing the aging process down. The key is to reduce stress in the body. And if you're not reducing the stress in your body, you will age. You will age. And that's why ozone therapy in just about any of the forms. I'm okay if all you can get is MAH and you have a big enough vein for it, do it. If all you can get is IV saline ozone and you have, because then you can use small veins, do it. If that's all that you can have available to you by doctors, it's still better than nothing. And I do believe it's better than rectal insufflation on its own. You can do both rectal insufflation at home and any of the IV ozone therapy methods. Of course, you wouldn't be doing rectal insufflation on a day that you're getting IV ozone. You wouldn't need to, but on other day, all the other days of the week, you should. Okay. The direct IV methods, as you're going to, if you listen to the shows, are very fast, 2 to 3 to 5 minutes. You don't need large doses to do the cleansing and detoxification, but 2 to 3 to 5 minutes, you recover very rapidly from it. So that's a wonderful thing. The blood methods of ozone are far more involved. You need to use blood thinners and things like that. That has effects on the body. So the direct IV method for anti-aging, which is the most common method, we're told that around the world, because it's the easiest, simplest, and least costly, is ideally the best way to go. And because of the stem cell activity, if your body has parts that are broken down, or that are breaking down, it can make a major difference in their repair. Okay. I hope this gives you a great idea about why intravenous ozone therapy and ozone therapy in general is very important to anti-aging. If you have questions about this, contact my office in Manhattan at 212-581-0101. That's 212-581-0101. Email me at ozone doctor, OZONEDOCTOR, ozone doctor at yahoo.com, YAHOO, yahoo.com. You can contact Doctor's Biome. If you remember, listen to the show last week, you won't be sorry. Doctor's Biome, DOCTORS, BIOME. Sounds like biome, but it's pronounced biome. Doctorsbiome.com. And remember to put the code radio 20 in. And while I've said it several times on the show, I will repeat PromoLife, PROMOLIFE.com at 888-742-3404. You can look at their products online and then call them up and say you want to get set up for home care. You want to do rectal insufflation and make ozonated water. They'll know exactly what to do to get you set up. And remember to tell them you heard about it here on the show. Remember with Doctor's Biome to use the code radio 20. Now, next week I'll be traveling, so we'll be doing a repeat show. When we come back, I'm hoping to have, there's a whole bunch of guests that I'm trying to work out to have on. I find that some of the doctors are a little bit reticent to actually come on shows and talk. I think they're kind of scared. It's not an easy thing, even though they're just talking to me, so to speak. It can be a little daunting and a little scary for people that haven't done it. I've been doing radio and television since 1977, videos and documentaries and all sorts of shows. So I'm kind of used to it. And I've had some people who've taught me how to do it a little bit better. I'm still learning. Okay. But in any case, everybody stay safe, stay healthy, stay well. And I'll be back live in 2 weeks. Remember to go to episode directory and listen to all the different shows that we've done on individual health problems. There may be shows some people in your family may benefit from, so put them onto it. And we'll be back again in 2 weeks live. Everybody stay well. Bye now.